Hey guys, AJ here, back with another one for you. So guys, there's this new stupid thing called quiet firing that's going on around, and of course, it's just a bunch of 304s whining and moaning on the internet about how their job is mistreating them, right? Absolute clown world. Now guys, quiet firing, according to Google, right? Quiet firing is when managers neglect or mistreat employees, eventually causing them to quit their jobs. Employees who are victims of quiet firing might find themselves passed over for promotions or pay raises or left out of important meetings and discussions, right? Now, guys, here's the thing. There's two sides to this. Number one, right? A lot of these 304s are so unaware, like the lack of awareness where they think that they're doing a good job, so they feel entitled to everything, right? So they have no clue they're actually doing a bad job. And then the second part is that, guys, with all this M2 and everything else, you just can't straight fire a woman anymore, right? Because even if a woman gets a negative review, right, all of a sudden it's, "I'ma kill your bitch ass, bitch!" And you get a lawsuit, you get drama, all of that. So, guys, they just kind of just put them in the corner, right? Ignore them until they go away. So, guys, we're going to go to dumpster fire known as TikTok. Look at some of these bras whining about getting quiet fired. Before we do, like, subscribe, drop a comment, guys. Check out my second channel, my locals. The playlist at the end, guys, and let's get into this.
I got quiet fired. So I'm making this video so that you can see if you're being quiet fired, if you've got that suspicion. I'm going to tell you what happened to me. So first of all, I want to say that this company that I worked for was extremely toxic. When I got hired, everything seemed amazing. They were like, "Oh, we're all so excited to have you here, and I can't stop talking about you. I can't wait to see what you're going to do." And it very quickly spiraled. They said they were going to give me training, which basically consisted of being sat down and being told the logins for the social media, because I was a digital marketing executive, as well as an
event. Guys, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes, guys. Pump the brakes. How many buzzwords did you guys just hear? Okay, guys, digital marketing, spiraling, toxic. Okay, that's how you know we're off to a good start.
An events executive, which I had no experience in. One of my colleagues did understand that the website side of things was going to be a bit more difficult for me to understand, so that person did actually give me training personally rather than the company telling them to. Apart from that, I had zero training, wasn't told what type of content I needed to make, wasn't told how to word things, what the tone of voice should be. So that's red flag number one. Second of all, they had extreme high expectations, which is funny considering they didn't give me any training on how to do my job properly. When I didn't hit their expectations, that was completely unreasonable. They didn't even have knowledge in the subject themselves, but still had a high expectation of me when I had no training on how to do it. They didn't even tell me what their expectations were.
But guys, how much you want to bet during the interview, she sold herself on being able to do it, right? And then when her feet got held to the fire, she started crying about it.
Just like a woman.
They didn't tell me anything about the company before I started or during my time there, so they wanted me to work it out for myself. I was trying to message people, I was trying to get things set up, but that wasn't good enough. So when I wasn't hitting these expectations, they started to quiet fire me. And the first part of that was them getting me to write an action plan, sort of, well, they called it an activity log, of every second of every day what I was doing. If I was talking to someone via, because I work from home, so if I talked to them over Teams, I would have to say who I was speaking to, how long I was speaking to them for, and what I was speaking to them about, what content I was working on that specific time, so they could basically keep an eye on me. So that is one of the biggest red flags. So if your company has asked you to do this and nobody else, that's a sign they're going to quiet fire you. Not only that, because you weren't meeting their expectations, they would put me in a meeting with my line manager and the director of my department, and basically berate me and tell me that everything that I do is poor, but they wouldn't tell me how to improve it. So another red flag, because they're just trying to push you to the point where you don't want to be there anymore and you hand in your notice. And going on that theory of them not wanting to fire you, but they want you to hand in your notice, is that they will constantly monitor you, ask you what you're doing every 10 minutes, how you're getting on. My manager was like, oh, I want you to put in the morning all the tasks that you want to achieve today, and at the end of the day, tell me what tasks you have achieved. And if I hadn't achieved all those tasks in my list, why didn't you achieve that? Why didn't you do this? Well, that's because I then got given other tasks to do on top of that, which was a little bit more urgent, so it made it seem like I wasn't doing the things I had set out to do, when actually I was doing other things that I was told to do that were urgent and more important. So again, they're trying to get under my skin, they're trying to make me not like being there.
Are you hearing this victimhood mentality, guys? Right? Yes, has she taken accountability for any of this? At all? Oh, this evil company did this to me. They monitored me too much, right? I was working from home and doing a bad job, so they actually expected me to explain to them what I was doing. And of course she said, "How dare you?" Right?
Then they went in for the kill. They said, oh, do you really think that maybe this is the right role for you? And I would like you to sit down and really think and write down each part of your job role and tell me what you think the job role is, what support you need, and what do you think the role should be. My line manager even went as far as, in one of these meetings that I got pulled into, pull up my cover letter and my CV and question me on my skills and whether or not my work links to what I put in the cover letter.
Look at that, guys. I told you. Look at that. I told you guys. She probably marketed herself one way, right? And they got into this job she had no idea how to do. And then is playing the victim because she got fired. Or because they were actually having expectations. We all know that women don't like any type of criticism or critique. So they pulled up her cover letter and said, this doesn't seem like how you sounded on your resume.
Which is really shady in itself. But again, proof that they were trying to find a way to prove that I wasn't doing my job properly or what I had promised. And that's just a couple off the list. There is so many more things that they did. And if you want me to do a part 2 to this, let me know in the comments or follow me, whatever. It was bad. It was so bad. And they were the most toxic environment, including the colleagues and the team environment there. So let me know if you want me to tell a bit more. I got quiet.
The entitlement, right? Women expect the environment to adapt to them instead of them adapting to the environment. And guys, look, a lot of people lie on their resume. But guys, if you say that you can do something and you don't know how, but you say it in an interview, guys, you better go home, go to YouTube, or get a friggin' For Dummies book and learn how to do it fast. You know what I'm saying? These chicks are so dumb, they can't even fake it till they make it. And guys, especially working from home, these workplaces are not playing games. If you're not being productive, they have whole plans to figure out what you are and aren't doing. And they're going to act like a victim. Guys, the very first comment says, I have a question for you. If you get an executive role, quote unquote, with little or no experience, isn't that a red flag? Right there, guys, right there. And now she's trying to say, well, she replies, when I got the job, they told me it was entry level. And when they offered me the job, they didn't have a title. I only knew when I got the job. Please, do you believe that, guys?
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Insane. Guys, this is what happens when you start letting these 304s in the workplace, man. Things have been crazy ever since. And guys, like I said, she was doing such a bad job that they were just, before they would have just fired her, right? But then all these chicks started saying, oh, You're firing me? Well, my manager tried to M2 me. So now that they have this long, drawn-out process to nudge these chicks out the door. And guys, are hashtags. Hashtag quiet firing. Hashtag job. Hashtag toxic. Hashtag I got fired. Hashtag corporate America. And then her name, Fallen Char. Please. Guys, at work, keep your head down. Do your job. And if you know any chick that's part of your team that's being left out of meetings, guys, don't talk to them. If your company is kind of nudging them out the door, you don't want to be associated with them to get nudged out the door too. So, all right, you guys, this is AJ. I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, and guys, I'm out of here. Have a good one.